There is something that God has instructed you to do to release finances in your life. And I deal with that subject of finances because I don't believe the people of God has to be burdened down with the pressures of just trying to make it in life. You know, we sing songs like it's hard out here. No, not really. Just hard for you. But it ain't really hard. So, now that be true, how do you release not being hard in your life? How do you release that? How do you release having adequate housing and adequate transportation and adequate clothing in the cold weather and giving your children not only what they need, but some of the things that they desire? If somebody wants something they desire every now and then, you know you don't need the ice cream, but I just like it every now and then. Just a desire of God. But I want you to know that corresponding action is that which releases the things of God in your life. God will give you an assignment. God will give you some instructions, and write it down. Over there in Habakkuk 2:1 and through 3, it says write the vision. Make it plain. It says write it so plain that if somebody pick up your notebook, they know all your business. Make it so plain that if somebody pick up your notebook, they can implement your ideas. A note on that, don't worry about anybody copying you, because it's the anointing of God in your life for the assignment He's called you on that gives you success. So somebody copying you, they can't duplicate and do what God has already ordained for you to do in the earth. He's preordained. He's foreordained. And so I just want you to know that when you hear the voice of God in your life, do it. So these individuals, these 10 individuals, some over here who kind of believe, and some over here who just found out who he was. And so these 10 individuals who kind of knew and just found out who he was, they said, when he said walk, I'm going to walk. And so it was in the midst of walking. Well, I want another illustration on this corresponding action produces an unlocked grace in my life. Well, when Moses had the children of Israel and they came out of that area of bondage, Egypt, if you will, they left there with the wealth of the land. They were moved on. They were going to the promised land of God. Well, they got trapped. They had the oppressor behind them. They were going to kill them, those Egyptians and Pharaoh. And they had this great body of water before them. Well, when they got closer to the water didn't move. But as Moses began to step out on that water, as if I would drown right now, and when that decision was made with that corresponding action, that water began to separate and open up, and Moses could walk out there on dry land and all of the people. I want you to know, corresponding action is powerful. Well, you say you still don't believe it. Well, there was Abraham. God told him, I want you to sacrifice your son. So it wasn't until he took his son up on the hill, started the fire, laid him down, tied him down, pulled out the knife, started to go down, that he heard something rumbling in the bush. And that was a ram in the bush, a ram called Grace. But if he didn't make it to the top of the hill, if he didn't lay him down and tie him down, and if he didn't have a hard conviction to do what God told him to do, he wouldn't have heard the rumbling in the bush. Now that is a rumbling in the bush of your life, but the problem is you too far away to hear it. God told you to go to the top of the hill, you're still at the bottom. God told you to go to the top of the hill, you're in the middle of the hill. God told you to lay him down, you still there trying to talk him into it. Abraham's son didn't want to die now. So Abraham had to take spiritual authority of his own circumstance. So there are some places in your life where you have to take spiritual authority, because this is what God has called and assigned you to do. And I will assure you, when you begin to operate with the corresponding actions about the things of God, you're going to see revolutionary breakthrough of grace in your life. Man, just do what he told you to do. And you're going to see it open up. Just do what he told you to do. Don't worry about how many people show up. I'm telling you, there was 2 people here, I'll be teaching the same way. I would. Because it's not about how many people here. It's whether I'm doing what he told me to do. And if I'm doing what he told me to do, there's a ram in that bush, and when it's due season, that ram gonna move and I'm here. And it's gonna be a breakthrough. That's what people call it overnight success. There's no thing is overnight success. success. It was a long night, not overnight success. And so we see that these particular individuals along this journey, and here they are, and I know I got to hurry up, 10 of them walking. And I told you to put yourself in their story. And one of the individuals, and this is another sign of grace. See, when you do something, God give you a little something. Then He give you a little bit something more. And so what this particular individual had the grace to see is himself in the 5 stages of change. See, he wasn't all the way whole. He wasn't all the way complete, but he saw something extraordinary different going on in his life. And sometimes we stunt the development and the free flow of grace in our lives because we don't recognize and appreciate, another way to say it, we don't stop and smell the coffee. When's the last time you stopped and smelled the coffee of what's going on in your life? When's the last time? And I'm really talking to myself because I can be critical and detail-oriented and see the next step and the totality of the assignment and the instructions, and I know each instruction we didn't follow. But then sometimes God says, sit down for a while and smell the coffee. If you don't go any higher, has He been good to you today? If you don't have another customer, has He been good to you today? And that's what it's about. And that's how grace begets grace. And that's how gratitude begets gratitude. And grace should provoke gratitude in your life. And it is that gracious spirit that you have that will begin to unlock and produce blessings in your life. Do you have something that you're thankful for today? I thank each of you for coming. I mean, I really do. I thank each of you for coming. Because I would be here by myself, you know. So I thank y'all for coming. Each of you for coming. I thank each cultural group for coming. Because if each cultural group didn't come, we couldn't say we're cross-cultural, multicultural, transformational ministry. So I'd rather have 5 of a diverse group than 100 of one group. Because the 5 of a diverse group put the vision on display in my life, and that's the grace allowing me to see what God is doing. And so this particular individual begins to see. He stops, he recognizes, and he says, wait a minute, something is going on. I want you to know that one of the greatest moments, Brandon, of grace in your life is when you can see yourself outside of them.